Hello everyone, I'm Bishi, and today we're playing even more Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We are in episode 5, we just started this yesterday, finally finished episode 4, so now we're in the next one. And we left off having to talk to this little scamp right here, and a fancy man, Mr. Fancy Pants back there. Back for the Ace of Attorney, yes. I appreciate y'all showing up for jury duty summons today. There will be no exemptions. If you're here, you have to be here. The only exemption is if you're sleepy and you want a snack. Then you can leave. I'm sleepy and want a snack. Can I go home? No, you're the bailiff, Ruuuvo. The bailiff can't go home for being sleepy and wanting a snack. I'm sorry. You could say that the bailiff wants to bail. Wow. There you go. You're 5 seconds of fame because the sound effect is like 5 seconds long. Oh, but yeah, we're playing Ace Attorney today. Yesterday we had to deal with this guy right here. This guy single-handedly raised my blood pressure by like a couple points permanently, so I'm not very happy with him right now. And then we just met this guy, so I'll be here all night. Well, I would certainly hope so. It's jury duty. You gotta do jury duty. Do they have jury duty in other places? Do they do that in the UK? How uncultured do I sound right now? Very? I think the answer is very. I don't know. I don't know. I truly do not know how that works in other countries. I only know how it works here. Do they have jury duty in the UK? There are different rules for jury service across the different countries. That makes sense to me. I don't want to assume that, like, the way ours works is how everybody's works. So that's why I just assume I won't know, you know? I'd rather assume I don't know anything than assume that I know better. You know what I mean? You can put that on a t-shirt. I think that's a better policy than thinking you know everything. I can't really get a straight answer, but there's jurors in other places. I just don't know how their jury duty works. There's a jury in the game. That's literally all I have. That's it. That's it. That's all we know. Okay, it's fine. None of us know anything. That's okay. Okay, so we gotta talk to a little scamp right here first. The gentleman's accusation. Miss Lestrade, is what the gentleman is saying. What do you think? It's all lies, ain't it? Obviously. I swear on my life, I ain't never laid eyes on that dandy before. Dandy? Let's hear it now, you little ragamuffin. You stole it, didn't you? That ticket you brought in here just now. No, I swear it. I swear to God. It was barely an hour ago. I was walking along the street, minding my own business. When this little gutterling ran into me, I knew at once what had happened. That's his voice. That's his voice now. That's what he gets. That's all I got for him. Oh my god. I'm drawing Shunosuke, a mouse mascot Ryunosuke, and debating whether or not to be lazy in Animal Crossing. Just go for it. That's what I would do. Don't ask me nothing about nothing. Okay. That just means more space for learning. There we go. Oh my god. I'm excited that you're excited, Arkham. That sounds amazing. I don't trust this Mad Hatter looking ass who wears a hat that big? Doug Dimmadome. This is just the Doug Dimmadome of Ace Attorney. You can't even see the top of the hat. It's so tall, it's off screen. Also, welcome NPC man. Oh no, my cat is grumpy with me. She had to go to the vet to get her teeth clean. Oh. I don't like going to the dentist either. I get it. For cat. I've been robbed yet again, I thought to myself. Those wretched pickpockets. Oh, it's this guy talking. Okay. Yet again. Oh, yes. As you can see, I am a man of impeccable style. This isn't the first time that I've been targeted by these back-slum scoundrels. Oh my god. See, he's a JoJo character, I swear to God. Now then, relinquish my overcoat. Come along now, Miss Lestrade. Give the good gentleman his coat back. If you're going to cause trouble, I shall have no choice but to call the police. Hold on. Why does everyone think it's me? Just look at this dandy cove, and you think I'm the dodgy one. I'm sorry, but no one's going to believe you. Well, what about evidence? Yeah. Where's your evidence that I've stolen something, eh? Come on, let's see it. Oh, I have evidence, naturally. You what? Evidence? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Evidence that the article Miss Lestrade redeemed actually belongs to this gentleman. Of course, we need only consult Mr. Windibank's ledger to know the truth. We'll be able to look up the name of the person who deposited the article in the first place. Yes, brilliant. I'm very sorry, but I'm afraid that won't be possible. Oh. I never ask customers' names. That's a strict policy of mine. Huh. But why not? Well now, as you can imagine, some of my customers have circumstances to consider. A great many of them prefer to maintain their anonymity. I see. But then, how can you know if an article belongs to the person asking to redeem it? Oh, it's quite simple. Good sir, might I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question? Oh, of course, it's... Professor! Yes, that's right. And all the evidence we need. This gentleman is the rightful owner of the article, without doubt. A watchword? Interesting. It's like a password. So, about these watchwords, Mr. Windibank. As I just explained, I never ask customers' names when they deposit items with me. There are many reasons why. Certain customers would like to keep their activities secret. He looks over very pointedly at her luck. Who is very busy looking through that thing. That wasn't exactly a subtle glance at Mr. Sholmes now, was it? Great detectives have no dark secrets. None at all. Yes, well, anyway, that's why I always ask for a watchword whenever I accept a new article. In many ways, it's like the secret combination of numbers used to unlock a vault. Date of the deposit, a description, and a watchword uniquely identify each item. And of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. When someone comes to redeem something, I ask for the ticket and the watchword. And if that someone tells you the correct watchword, you return the article? That's right, sir. Yes. Just as soon as the requisite fee is paid. And I have supplied you with the information you require already. But for the avoidance of doubt, the article in question is an overcoat, deposited 2 months ago on 15th February. With a watchword of Professor. All perfectly correct information, sir. But ow! Really, this is beyond a joke now. There is no further room for doubt. Ugh. Okay, so now we can probably talk to him. Is Sherlock still there? Oh. He just popped in for a second and then left again. He doesn't need the height provided by that hat. Shake my head. He just wants to appear even taller. He's like already 6 feet, but he's like, no, I want to look 6'5". Other than being grumpy, the cat is doing okay. She didn't have to have any teeth taken out, which surprised both Yvette and me. Oh, good, good. It's always stressful when they have to do that. Alright, let's talk to you. Picture postcard gentleman. I like his little blue scarf. Excuse me, but who are you? Who are you? One would expect the inquirer to introduce himself first. Though clearly you are not British, so perhaps our ways are foreign to you. Oh, sorry. Yes, we're from the Empire of Japan. We're studying here. Oh yes, Japan. I've heard talk of the place. Hello? Its inhabitants live on some fiery brown-colored soup, dressed up with exotic spices. I hate him. I don't like him. I don't like him, I'll tell you that. Oh my god, he is extra derogatory. Like in parentheses, extra derogatory. Sometimes extra is a good thing. Not today. You might be thinking of somewhere else. And what was that theatrical gesticulation about? Perhaps. Anyway, if you are a gentleman, sir, you offer your own name first, before inquiring after the name of another. Of course, yes. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a lawyer. A student of law, really. My name is Susato Mikotoba. I am Mr. Naruhodo's assistant. I see. My name is Benedict. Yes, Eggert Benedict. Yeah, that's your name, all right. Yep, I totally believe you, 100%. Eggert Benedict, everyone. Enchanté. He's so refined in how he holds himself and how he speaks, but that name is suspicious, to put it lightly. Now, to the matter at hand. My overcoat. Return it at once to someone with the style to carry it off. Every move he makes, every breath he takes, I can't stand watching him. Nice, reference? Nice reference. Yeah, the puns are never ending. They're never ending. Already hate this guy? Yeah, I feel like everybody hates him now. Oh god. That is a reference. It sure is. So, let that be an end to the matter. And thank you for your custom, Mr. Eggert Benedict, sir. With such reasonable rates of interest, I may even decide to come back. This is why I hate grown-ups. Just 'cause I'm a diver, everyone thinks that makes me a liar. And the contents of the coat pockets, if you please, broker. But of course, sir. Here's the disc for you. Just this one. Pardon, sir? I was expecting another. That is, I deposited another. Oh, another disc? Oh, oh dear. I regret to inform you, sir, that what was deposited with me was merely the overcoat. The disc happened to be in one of the pockets, but I was completely unaware of it until now. So, Gutterling, you're hiding more of what's rightfully mine, are you? Says who, I don't know nothing about it. Very well. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Yeah, you tell her. God, he's such a loser. Wait a minute. That disc is mine. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my. Yes, there's blood on the disc. Oh. It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them. But doesn't he have gloves on? He has gloves on, he's fine. I found it first, all right. I mean, it belonged to me old man. So you're not having it. Or you take it. Me? Don't involve them. If I hang on to it, they'll have it off me again. So you keep hold of it. Miss Lestrade, why is this disc so important to her? The music box disc has been entered into the court record. A metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. The piece of music, which remains unidentified, is stored on the disc by means of small protrusions. Okay. You there, in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars. Ugh, what do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? Watch, this is like the whole episode 5. It's just figuring out who this disc actually belongs to. What if we just left? I think we could leave, technically. I guess let me talk to her? Maybe? Gonna tear a hole in that coat with the stupid posing. Mm-hmm. That coat is ugly, don't lie to me. Wow, Miss Lestrade is really looking daggers at that mysterious gentleman. We need to do something to calm things down before she loses control and attacks him again. Mr. Windibank is clearly at a loss here. We have to do something about this before he reaches for that revolver of his. Please, no more of that, please. Look at those piercing eyes. He's clearly in no mood to talk. We have to do something quickly before this mysterious gentleman leaves to fetch the police or something. Oh. Look at the blood, probably. Hey, Alfred, welcome in. Howdy. Not the revolver. I know. Like, police, no more. Look at all the little bumps on the disc. They're so tiny. Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they pluck the teeth of the comb to make notes. And just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yes, the blood of the mysterious Mr. Eggert Benedict. When Miss Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him, the pins scratched his fingers, it seems, but he has gloves. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally catch your finger. Ouch. Just thinking about it hurts, and puts me off eating radish. Okay. Oh! Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck onto the reverse side of the disc, look. And a scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. I know that name. Or McGilded. McGilded? It couldn't be. But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? It's been updated. On the reverse side is a note that reads for Mr. McGilded. For McGilded. The surname of the man whose innocence you secured in the trial 2 months ago, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, a trial I'll never forget. Not least because of the tragic accident that followed it in which McGilded was killed. But why would his name be on this music box disc? I'm afraid I have absolutely no idea. But one thing seems certain. This surely could not be a simple coincidence. Okay. I can't converse. Let's see, maybe... Oh yeah, Sherlock is still here. I mean, Herlock, sorry. Mr. Sholmes? What are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. Now what's wrong? So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. god! He's such a baby! Cruelly ostracized, as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So, feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, this 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naruhodo? But how could you? I was so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gone from bad to worse here, you know. Yes, I overheard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? It's a sad, sad little man. Poor Mr. Sholmes. I feel simply awful for you. Don't feel bad for him! Let me show you something. This is a 34-year-old man! He's 34! Come on! Don't feel bad for him. He knows better. He should not be acting like this. Come on. Oh my god. He is the drama. He's sulking. My god, he hides and then he's like, why didn't you find me? It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again. My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration, but who knows if it will help to resolve the situation between Miss Lestrade and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? Listen, of course. We'll hear him out. Well, he says something completely off base and weird, but altogether entertaining. Well, Miss Lestrade, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where the blue blazes have you been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help. Straight away, not an hour later. Harsh. You're the one that sent him away. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Eggert Benedict, you have, in my eyes, a veritably encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. Nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon? The first is this. The true reason for your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you to my deductions? How? He's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I hoped. That is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. I feel like these two characters are like the same in different fonts. I don't know if y'all know what I'm saying, but... Shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular. A great deduction. Aim is afoot. Like, they're not the same, but there's something, I mean, they both have, like, light hair. They have, like, a similar look, but, like, yeah, Times New Roman versus Comic Sans. Exactly, and Herlock is the Comic Sans, of course. Oh my god. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement from this very shop. Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need of such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years! The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the missing ferrule. The end of any walking cane would be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. These little goggles! And yet detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stick to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod... Oh! Is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. Tunnel underneath the pawnbrokery. Topic 2, Great Crime. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. But we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you have in the planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel. What on earth do you propose I could expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose. Save for a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. The answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. It might have been the gun, I think? Maybe? I don't know. Just guess. This letter gives notice of public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan of the upcoming sewerage works, beneath this shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank on the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath our feet, you would gain access to the waterway. That flows in very close proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you... In summary, sir, You devised a master plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. They also both pose really dramatically. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With what plunder did the thief hope to make off from the underground vault of the bank? Are you quite serious? Having consulted with Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition? I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Apparently, in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway. These parts take so long. Hey Dan, welcome in. Howdy. Dumbo mode time. Time for Herlock to be the silliest guy in the world. At the center there's a crystal tower. I think I skipped it. Hold on. Yeah, currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Exhibition will soon be underway. The government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank on the other side of this road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of that bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Exhibition. Of course, that is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. Yeah, what if he's just inspiring them to do an actual crime, because now they know all this. To steal the Great Exhibition's reserve funds. And then the Great Exhibition was talked about in, like, the case from 2 months ago as well, with Mr. McGilded. It was kind of, like, hinted at. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Now let's go in and fix everything. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in its vault? Indeed. Though few know of its existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets, and I just told everyone in this room about it. Gregson told me in the strictest confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here, rather loudly, in fact. Oh. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? There can be but one explanation for that. Clearly, it is because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he is a criminal, as you said, then buying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Windibank will. He already has plenty of shovels here, after all. Oh my life! I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. Aha! One can never be sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. So you're saying that you are not good at keeping secrets, specifically. Yeah, just leaking government secrets to everybody. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can massage it into shape. It's gonna need some chiropractic at this point. We're gonna have to crack some bones, not just a massage. Very well then, let us start once more from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. How bad is Sholmes fucking everything up? Oh, you know, pretty bad. Alright. We must ask ourselves what business you ventured to this pawnbrokery today. You claim you followed the pickpocket. And she sold the ticket from you. But that is a lie. The real truth is something different. So that's true. But this part is not true. As a real lie which you hold in your hand, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. Okay, so that's not true. So by Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, in an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lie elsewhere. The question is, where? What did bring Mr. Benedict here at this particular point in time? Okay. Maybe there's something on the back. Oh, yep. Something on the back. Oh, look at all the scribbled notes on the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. What is it? Listen to what it says. It looks like a little drawing of the girl. Yeah, Gina Lestrade, 5'2", green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although, if you showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of this shop have been written down here too. Windibank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline 15th April, which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? Info about Miss Lestrade. So we'll present that. Oh, Gina's taller than you? And you? Oh my goodness. I technically am taller than Gina. I'm not super tall, though. Not super tall. She's 5'2". 5 foot 2 inches. Which is not that short or anything. How am I taller than Gina? She's my height. Yeah. It's kind of funny. A lot of y'all are shorter or the same height. Or taller. We're all just comparing ourselves to Gina now. If you're taller than Gina, you're tall. If you're shorter than Gina, you're short. If you're her height, you're average. We're making that the new standard. Oh my god. By like 1 inch. Yeah, a bunch of short kings, queens, and queens in here. Royalty. Short royalty in here. Exactly. The Lestrade average. For changing the average.
Take that!
Are you... It's like, instead of are you smarter than a 5th grader, are you taller than a 5th grader? I'm just kidding. I actually don't know how old she is. How old is she? 17. No, so she's a high schooler. She's like senior. Almost senior high school. Okay. I was just kidding. Just a joke. I was actually gonna say, are you taller than a ragamuffin? But I couldn't think of any word to put at the end. Statistically, no, I'm not. That's okay. Oh, alright. Yes. What brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing and sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertain to the pickpocket, Miss Lestrade, and to Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery here. Ah. You originally told us. I like when Ryu does like the same poses as Herlock. It's so funny. That you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today, by which I mean here to Windibank's pawnbrokery, and today, the redemption deadline of that overcoat. So, you waited outside for the young girl, matching the description you have written down, to arrive. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane, which you unwittingly clutched to your person, exhibits an blah blah blah. And then we've seen this already. I've had this cane for years. The contradiction is the wrong end, the missing for rule. I saw initials on the cane that aren't his. Of course, his name is not Eggert Benedict, so I already know that's probably what it is, but... what's a ferrule? Yeah, I also would like to know. It's the metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, the bit that makes the nice clacking sound on the pavement? Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it doesn't. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather we don't know. Okay. I think it might be the initials. There's nothing, like, on the back of it or anything. Yeah, the initialing. Are you taller than a best girl? It's part of the games. All Ace Attorney games have characters posing like their relatives and mentors. It's very cute that it's Ryu and Sholmes in this game. Oh. I guess... I never really noticed that in, like, the original trilogy. Like, I guess, would Phoenix have posed, like, Mia? Since she was kind of like his mentor? I mean, she literally popped up and helped him a lot, so I don't know. Not gonna lie, the deduction game is one of exactly 2 reasons I tolerated Sholmes in 1 and 2. Oh my god. They are interesting parts. They are interesting parts of the game. I love how it's not just one mechanic, you know what I mean? Like, I guess in Ace Attorney, the original trilogy, I saw it as there's investigations and then there's courtroom. And that's it. It's just those 2 things. And then in this game, you kind of have, like, these deduction parts. You have the courtroom. You have the different aspects of the courtroom where you can talk to the jury and pit them against each other, and then also just the traditional courtroom stuff. And then kind of, yeah, just stuff like that. It's subtle, but the most obvious example of the pose sharing is actually Ryu and Phoenix. Oh! Okay, I was trying to think of Phoenix with, like, someone else in his game in the original, but I can't really think of anything. I didn't catch that. Okay, let's talk about it first. Look here, Miss Susato. There are some letters on the handle. Ah, yes. Those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their names. So, Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this cane, obviously... Oh. AG. Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? AG. I'm trying to think of who it could be. I mean, if it ends with a G... No, McGilded would be an M, huh? Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's his real name.
Take that!
Remember the very last trial in TNT? That shared objection with Mia and Nick. That's why Godot even begins to respect him. That moment! Okay. I do remember that. Maya poses a lot like Mia. Edgeworth and Fran pose like Von Karma, and so on. Okay, alright. Pearl and Maya also probably share a few mannerisms. Yeah, I think I probably noticed that in the moment. Especially because they're like cousins, I think. For the record, by G1 and 2, I mean the second case of the first Great Ace Attorney game, so it's technically divided into 2. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying, like, Great Ace Attorney game 1 and then 2. I don't know all the acronyms yet. I'm still learning. The contradiction of which I speak is the initialing. A most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This cane isn't... You said before that you'd had that cane for years. So don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short... Though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. Ooh. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Aye. In your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer of the next conundrum. What is the truth behind this rod you bear? Your reaction betrays the truth. The handle, which you would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle. Okay, so it's not the handle. Oh, okay, you just kind of made up that acronym. No worries, no worries. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Miss Lestrade redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. And now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. We know that he actually identified Miss Lestrade from a written description, which suggests that everything else he's told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. Okay, trying to prove this isn't his coat. Oh. Oh, the seam on the shoulder there is coming apart, look. So it is. Do you know, a moment ago when Mr. Benedict was surprised by something that was said, I thought I heard him make a rather strange noise. It sounded a bit like a tiny growl. Oh, I did hear that! Oh, it ripped because it's too small on him. But now I think it was probably the sound of the seam ripping open. If you look closely, it does seem to be a very tight fit. The sleeves are stretched to bursting, and he wouldn't have a hope of fastening it at the front. If he were to run around in it, I'm sure the whole thing would fall apart. That I'd like to see. Sorry? So how can we make Mr. Benedict run around? Just really giving this some thought.
Take that!
The split seam, which you evidently would like to conceal, is the key to understanding this riddle. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pickpocket. This catalogue of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that the young girl redeemed for Mr. Windybank. But what really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. Alright, so now we gotta figure out what he's up to abscond with a redeemed item. Now, Mr. Benedict, let us continue. Alright, so now we've read all of this. The crime he's planning. You suggest that I, a gentleman, designed a wheeze to filch some tawdry article of pawnage. Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner using the watchword? Had I not been the one to deposit it in the first place, how could I possibly have known the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. Ah, and your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. Oh, it's probably in the book. What? So it wasn't the gun, he was looking at the book. Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawn property of another. Yeah, not the council notice. The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windybank would never allow you to redeem the article. Or, looking at it another way, If you did know that word, Mr. Windibank would allow you to redeem the article, whether it was yours or not. The question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? Let's see. A notelet? Look at this, Miss Susato. It appears to be a memo that Mr. Windibank has scribbled to himself. Let's see. What does it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Windibank must make a note of the watchwords his customers give him right before their eyes. And in alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear. I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see? Well, there it is. The gun. I just want to look at the gun. This is Mr. Windibank's gun. Yes, loaded with only one bullet, he said. It would appear that being a pawnbroker is a very life-or-death profession. That might just be this particular establishment. Okay, let's present. Also, I think this is a photo of a cat. Right here. He's got a dog over there and a cat over here. Not the gun, yeah. I'm sorry.
Take that!
The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customer for the watchword and notes down the response uttered on a notelet he has to hand. Then he consults his ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. What are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop for your accusation against Miss Lestrade. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windibank. When the diligent broker made a note of the watchword, as is his common practice, you observed him writing the word professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article from this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you had a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. Okay, so that's wrong. The articles we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box that was in one of the pockets, which according to Mr. Windibank isn't even worth a penny. And yet this man went to such great lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Naruhodo. Would we? Really? We better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far.
Take that!
You see, this music box disc tells us all we need to know. What's that? On the back. It reads from McGilded. Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his loan-mongering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature. In fact, he was precisely the right size for that overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Eggert Benedict. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today There they go. Was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. Alright, there we go. Require an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. So I guess the girl was kind of working with him, so maybe that's why she knew about this. Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Miss Susato. Well, according to what Mr. Winterbank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Well, today is 15th April, so 2 months ago today. Would have been 15th February, sir, that's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, 15th February. Is precisely the day on which the ominous murder took place. Oh, omnibus, not ominous. Omnibus. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna write this down. So on the day of the omnibus murder, the overcoat with the music box disc was brought to the pawn shop. Okay. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Right, so how could he have been there? Oh. Or someone else deposited this. That's so weird. Okay. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However... Oh my god! Why does everyone have guns in this game? I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. What do I do? If I say this is... Are we gonna die? Are we gonna die right now? Absolutely not. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. Is this really one of them? This may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Oh boy, Mr. Winterbank. This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Would you point it at the guy and not you? Mr. Winterbank, no! Alright, that's enough. Oh! The cops is here. Inspector Gregson. Inspector. That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now what's this all about, eh? Oh, praise be. You're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. For no reason. Put it down, man! Like, he was still pointing it. It would seem you have the upper hand. Right, you lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Petty? Mr. Winterbank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. So he can spill the beans later. What about us? Yeah, what about Ryu? Yeah, Ryu actually had a gun pointed at him, but Susato was just like, Mr. Winterbank. Oh my god. I might have said a little too much. No matter. It's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Oh! He's getting away! Get after him, lads! Whistle the beat officer, too! Sir! Of course he ran. He was too slippery. There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently, so we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking that, whatever it is, of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't! Don't give it to him! It's mine, that is! Mine! I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to Mr. McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. Capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. And so, we handed Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and into the street. To be continued. Right now. We'll keep going. Save. Alright. April, Baker Street. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh, really, Miss Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D let me keep it, after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scarper. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate 'em. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice, shiny disc, mind. The music box disc? But Mr. Winterbank said it was practically worthless. I think I'm gonna go and have another bash. Give him a long, hard stare. I think not, Mr. Lestrade. We shan't enter Winterbanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Winterbank. But that disc's mine. I had the ticket for this coat, and it was in this coat's pocket. And there should be something else and all. That's what that rotten cove said, ain't it? Ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well then, that's mine too, whatever it is. Now she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Eh? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. Modest? No, Tom. Oh. Why would I come round your place, eh? Have you lost your head or something? She's being so tsundere about it. Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well, then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I shall be glad of your company later, too. Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you.
Oh, how exciting! What is it?
You shall have to wait and see, Miss Susato. Until later, then. I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise if he told us. Alright. I guess... where do we go now? I guess we go back to the suite? Or is there anything else to look at? I don't think so. Okay. April, 3:46 p.m. Sholmes' suite.
Oh, Susie and Ruuuvo, come in, come in!
Good afternoon, Iris.
Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already.
Busy as always?
I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening.
Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you?
Oh, yes. After all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. Hehe, you'll never guess.
Look at those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear. It is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it?
It's Ginny! Isn't that exciting?
Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news. Iris seems overjoyed at the idea.
I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional.
Oh yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to, anyway?
He's back in that waistcoat! Early? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
I beg that you won't speak to me.
Sorry?
I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here.
I don't know how to respond to that.
I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything.
Yes, I see.
Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does.
Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder where her real parents are.
What's the matter, Ruuuvo? You have ever such a funny look on your face.
Oh, it's nothing.
I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right?
How did you...
Oh, Ruuuvo, I can read you like a book.
This girl is dangerous.
Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind.
Oh, time to talk to Iris. Alright. Sholmes is being angsty and attractive again. Sherlock Sholmes, charismatic in the streets, depressed in the sheets. Oh god. Okay, let's talk about Ginny. So, by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right?
Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here and we had dinner together. And now we're the best of friends.
Oh, what a lovely tale.
Yes, now if I bump into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can.
Oh.
And I chase after her
Down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship.
and then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed.
Oh.
There There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny wants me to make a whole rainbow.
I suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you?
Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyway. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now.
Poor Hurley.
Ooh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited.
I just hope she does actually come. Living with Sholmes.
I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you?
Well, it has crossed my mind. That, and where are your real parents?
My mummy and daddy aren't with me anymore. Mummy passed away when I was born. And at around the same time, my father... Well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on.
Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley?
Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together.
Oh. See, I thought that Iris was like the game's way of making a silly John Watson. Her dad was supposed to be John Watson. She didn't mention that before. Just see, she's Watson's daughter.
He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there.
Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true? Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases?
Oh yes. I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it?
So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father?
Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest. But that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up.
And found your father's memoirs?
Yes. So I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me. That's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father.
So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. Iris's father.
I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock. When Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy, I mean...
Must have done. Oh.
I wonder why Mr. Sholmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me.
Oh?
Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes.
Right.
Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes, actually.
I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories.
Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind.
Oh, I see.
The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone.
You can say that again.
You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Daddy is Dr. John H. Wilson.
Yeah, John Wilson in this game. Okay. You know, I was thinking about that. I was like, well, Sherlock Holmes is just Sherlock Sholmes, and aside from being silly, is still like Sherlock. But then John Watson was changed so much because now he's like a little girl. This makes a lot more sense. So she's his daughter. He was the victim from the first tutorial case. Oh, the one in Japan? Oh. I wouldn't have thought about that. It's been a very long time since I played that first case. I probably need to go back and rewatch it now that I know this. Because I think it said his name in the beginning, didn't it? It talked about the victim and everything. So if I remembered that, I would have known. It did, yeah. So it's not like a secret or anything. I just forgot. So my memory is terrible. Yeah, I'll have to go back and rewatch it again. Now that I have the context that it's supposed to be like John Watson. I was gonna be cheeky and ask if you remember, but I didn't come up with a way to word it in time. Oh, no worries. No worries. Yeah, I didn't remember. I have a really awful memory. I'll forget things all the time, which is why I take extensive notes. I have to like set reminders for myself to remember to do like everyday things too. It's awful. But yeah, so I will forget stuff from a game I just played. Just like Sherlock here, just like Herlock. Once I finish a game, I forget everything about it. There'll be someone in chat that's like, oh, do you remember when this happened in Yakuza 3 or whatever? And unless it's a very specific thing that I held on to with my brain, I completely have no memory of it. And I'll have to like go back and watch a clip to remember it, yeah. I've forgotten I played this entire game in like a week. Yeah, I mean, oh, God. All right, so her dad is Wilson.
I learned from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see.
And yeah, and that was also talked about in the tutorial case, was that he was a medical doctor.
That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well.
Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. Oh, so now they're telling us that connection right here. Okay, so the game would have told me. Court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. And then, you know, honestly, this judge could kind of get it too. Like, there's a lot of characters in this game that could probably get it. And what a difference. This is the first judge you see, at least the first judge I saw after the old judge that doesn't know where he is or what's going on from the original trilogy. This is the first judge I see after that. What a stark change. The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. And the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. And then apparently the person who killed him was that swan lady, I think. Miss Susato. Yes. Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time.
I think that would be for the best.
Ah, my dear fellows. How good to see you. Oh, suddenly you're better now?
Mr. Sholmes!
Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Huh. Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? How the devil are you doing? I forgot they state it plainly. For some reason I thought they didn't bring this connection up. Oh, I guess so. Also, the 10-year-old has a doctorate and I will never get over it. Yeah, I'm like, well, she probably got it in the mail. She just ordered it by pigeon. We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really?
Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed?
Hmm? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madam? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows.
Oh, another music box disc.
No, not another disc, Miss Susato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilded's disc.
Oh my.
Then, what's it doing here? You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. Oh my god.
Ooh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I would be your pickpocketing assistant. And Ruuuvo could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught.
Right. This is a criminal ring now.
Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting, she could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted.
I'm just going to pretend this conversation never happened, I think. Alright, let's talk. Music box disc. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. We've taken that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand, did I not? Yes, you did. But I still don't understand. I think he pressed the caramel into the music disc, and he gave the detective the real one, but he has an impression and had it made again. He made a copy, basically. Used the caramel like wax. It was at precisely that moment that I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars like this. That's amazing. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. He made a sticky copy. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional and quite sticky. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary. Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press in its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes, it sounds illegal. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. The music on the disc. You tell us then, Mr. Sholmes. What music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't think we have the right machine. No idea. None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Goodness, you don't know, Ruuuvo? Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what protrudes the sound. Small protuberances plug the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. But over time, a new type of player was produced, which uses discs such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one's firm music box does not match that of the other. And we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It is quite intractable. I see. So that's why... Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. making us listen to all of them. Don't do this at home, kids. Do it at somebody else's. I have a music box, a mini music box, but it only plays Jingle Bells. Oh my goodness. I had a few music boxes growing up. Some of them you could see that rotating cylinder, and some of them were like inside the box, you couldn't see them, but I've always liked music boxes. I think they're really neat. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe.
Every single one? That's Hurley for you. Always taking things too far.
But my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution.
But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it?
Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room.
What? Magnus McGilded. Aw, I think there was a version of Undertale that came with a little music box locket, and I wish I was cool enough to own it. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I would love to have a little music box that plays like an Undertale song, especially like the main theme. Oh my god. I loved Undertale. I love Deltarune too. I can't wait for the rest of it to release. I played both chapters as soon as they dropped, pretty much.
Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon.
Yes, it's only been 2 months since that Grizzly case. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash. Not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about the murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial,
the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case.
The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what really happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. He was very suspicious.
It would appear the case is not yet closed.
Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long.
Thank you, Iris.
Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do.
I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it?
Let this be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker.
Yes, you may be right.
Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he?
Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe.
So you heard about that, did you? I expect you were as incensed as I was.
Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom, gathering dust.
My dear madam, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault.
And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure?
Well, there may be the occasional mix-up.
Caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now.
Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it.
Yes? What?
Oh,
Is she not supposed to know the name of it? What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room?
Susie, what did you just say?
What did you do?
You said the Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's...
Susato! That's because Miss Susato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course.
But Ruuuvo, the Hound of the Baskervilles, has never been published.
What?
When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me that I wasn't allowed to publish it yet.
I don't understand.
That's why he said that he'd keep it safe. Until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see.
So that's why the manuscript is at Windibanks?
And yet, how could Susie here know its title? Well, Hurley, what's going on?
Huh. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Oh, great. Right at the most awkward, tense moment. Great! Oh, I think the only mini music box I want are those Final Fantasy ones. Oh, that would be nice too. Was that guy's pun named Fire Mason? That's pretty on the nose for a brick. Yeah, his name was Mason and he made bricks. Yes. I want one of the near music boxes, but international shipping is like $45 just for shipping. That's not even for the thing itself. Oh my god. That is way too much. Miss Lestrade.
This was a bad idea. I knew I weren't welcome. I'm going. No, see?
No, wait! Miss Lestrade! Oh my god. We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Oh my god, y'all, please!
Oh yes! Just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie!
Right, of course. I think she's mad at her.
It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please make yourself at home.
Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. I just noticed, are those bullet holes in the upper part of the room on the wall? It spells VR? Hello? Hey, friend, welcome in.
God blimey, it's a Bishi stream, isn't it?
Indeed it is. Welcome in, friend. There's the cat. You're just in time for the cat.
Meow.
So cute. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome, and Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves well into the night. That's cute. That's cute. I kind of wanted to hear Sherlock playing the violin well, though. I've only gotten to hear him play it terribly. 15th April, 9:34 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it?
Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine.
And I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now.
Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court.
Mm-hmm.
Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder?
What's the matter, Susato-san?
It's about the telegram I received.
Ah, the one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose.
I've been summoned.
What? Summoned? What do you mean?
The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me.
The Lord Chief Justice? When?
Tomorrow morning.
What? Then we have to start preparing at once.
Oh, no. That won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone.
Alone? What on earth for?
I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow.
What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. What the heck? Oh, who could that be, I wonder?
Good evening, friends!
Oh my god. Oh, Iris. Hello again.
And Gina, too. Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Ginny?
Well, yeah.
How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learned so much today.
Oh, what in particular?
All those things Ginny showed us. Wasn't it wonderful?
You mean all those pickpocketing techniques? We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we?
I think I've awakened a natural talent. I could earn a living from it.
You might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So, what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour?
Well, you see, I came to return this.
Wait, what? That's mine!
Oh my, however did you... I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it.
Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius.
So anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though.
Ah, thank you. It's actually a very sentimental item, thank you very much.
Alright then, good night.
Yes, good night.
So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Ginny?
I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this.
Yes, me too. Ha 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 ha!
It seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I think Susato snuck a peek at the manuscript.
Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me?
I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please.
Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward.
Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all.
I don't know what all this is about really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mantle script or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries.
Daddy's?
That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Ginny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once. His partner.
Eh?
They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister?
Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though.
And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries. So I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened.
And they were partners.
So where's your old man now, then?
Oh,
Oh!
He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land, and he'll be gone a very long time. So, I've never really met him.
Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know anything about Gina's parents either. Perhaps we should ask her. Well, let's ask her about the Hound of the Baskervilles. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story, I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts?
That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow, from the other cases, I mean.
Oh? How?
I don't really know, but it must be special in some way, because after I'd written it and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that.
It pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it for so long, Iris, but this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances.
But why not? It's one of my best works!
I'm not at liberty to say, not now, so please do not ask me.
Alright then, I won't.
But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it?
Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe.
That really gets my goat, that does. He's treating you like a child. She is 10.
She is a child.
It's mean, that's what it is. Keeping secrets like that.
I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean.
Eh?
If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I know John Wilson wasn't dead until the first case, but he's far away and will be gone for a long time. Sounds like code for he's dead. Yeah, I guess she doesn't know that he's dead? I guess? But certainly Herlock knows? I actually don't know if they're aware or not. Because I can get them not telling her because she's a little kid, but still. I think so too. You lot are too trusting for your own good, but he can't pull the wool over my eyes.
Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it.
What?
Hurley's lying to me?
The thing is, it sounds like she's been operating under this story for several years. Well, so the case... How long ago was that tutorial case, like, in the story? Was it years ago? I'm trying to think of the timelines. The tutorial case happens, and then... I think it was a few months later where Kazuma was, like, supposed to be going... Oh! Howdy! It's only been... Yeah, I think it's only been a few months that he's been away. But maybe he went to other places, too. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, welcome in, y'all. Howdy! Welcome back, save data. Howdy, howdy. You're playing Dungeons and Dragons. You're doing like some IRL or like maybe virtual D&D with some friends or something? That sounds fun. Welcome in. How was your stream? What did you do? Welcome in, y'all. We're playing some more great Ace Attorney Chronicles today. It's all I'm streaming right now. Iris, my beloved. Welcome in, Gnomes and Phila. And King, welcome in. I'm trying to figure out how to say your username, Arch? I'm just gonna say Arch if that's okay. Or let me know what you want me to say. Chrono, welcome in. Welcome in what? Welcome in... Force Data. Welcome, welcome. Hey again, just wanted to drop our people off with someone again, and you were so nice last night. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Welcome back in. I appreciate it very much. We were sent to a mining site and skipped an entire mining scene. Okay. They craved the mines and unionized. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Excellent game. I could be funny and pretend I'm with the raid. Yeah, I was like, this is where Luna came from. Oh, going back. But yeah, we're actually in episode 5 right now. So I just finished up 4 last night, and now we're talking to Iris, the baby. And I think now we actually want to talk to Gina, another beloved character. And we were just talking about the timeline of the game so far, because I was a little confused about, like, how long it's been since things have happened. So Wolf says they've been in England for 2 months. The boat trip takes 2 months, so like 4 months, maybe 5 since he died. Yeah, so it was pretty recent. But I guess she said that she's never met him, so I guess Wilson has just been gone ever since she was little. So for 10 years, I guess? That's what I was confused about. I was like, he died recently, but he's been gone from her life for years, is how it's worked. So weird. I wonder why he was gone. I mean, maybe the game will tell me, so don't tell me anything. Don't tell me! But, you know, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. Oh, you love this case? Yeah, we're still getting into it. I really don't know what the case is even going to be about yet. We're like in the very introductory period of it. Like we just got out of the pawn shop and learned how that works. We found that mysterious fancy guy. Yeah, this one, Eggert Benedict. Fakest name I've ever heard. And now we're just at home talking to Iris and Gina about the manuscript and like family and stuff like that. So yeah, we're still really early. Okay, let's talk to Gina. Eggert, what a name, yeah. Literally just came up with the name on the spot, I feel like. He was like, Eggert Benedict. That sounds good. Yeah. Amazing. About your parents. I realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us from the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Okay. Nah, diving's my life. I love it. I don't do it to help the children. I just like it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all afford to eat. I'm like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh. I'm definitely starting to like Gina more and more. Not that I ever disliked her, but I just didn't know what to think of her at first. Okay, so in the original Japanese game, his name was just Eggs Benedict. Oh my god. Which is phenomenal. I guess it wouldn't have made sense if they left it like that, but still, that still would have been amazing. Oh my god. He like tried to make it sound like a name. I just checked the first case's date and it was November 22nd. Oh, thank you, Archer. So the tutorial case happens November 22nd, and we are now in the next year in April, I think? Okay, so yeah, it's been a few months. I need a name. What did I have for breakfast this morning? Exactly. Heck them kids. Oh no. The best part for me is I didn't even question the Eggert Benedict thing. My first run, I was just like, yeah, that's an Ace Attorney name. Honestly, honestly, yeah. The only reason I was like, oh, that's a fake name, because he hesitated so much. I was like, that's not his real name. As much as Ace Attorney likes to give us silly names, that's not his real name. I'm hoping his real name is equally ridiculous. I really do hope. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. I always thought it'd make everything right. But having listened to what Iris just said, it sounds like having parents ain't always easy either. Oh. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you're always wanting to meet them. Man. It's true. I do want to see Daddy, so much. And Oh, Iris. Sholmes' lie. Gina, what did you mean when you said that you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris?
Well, he reckons he popped that mantle script or whatever, right?
Thanks so much for the follow, noobs. Thank you. He makes it suspicious by taking a hot second to come up with it, but even then, it's very on brand for the series. Yeah, actually, yes. He reckons he popped that mantle script or whatever, right?
But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish.
Oh my. Why would you think that, Gina?
It's simple. If that story was really an old Winterbank storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words you, could know about it.
Ah.
Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. Huh. Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Bare-faced liars, the lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that mantle script ain't at Winterbank's. You'd soon see if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See? Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere. Somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris.
Oh my goodness, look at the time! Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, all right. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you?
No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina.
You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then.
Good night, girls. Iris. It sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult. But deep down, she's still just a child. She's a baby! Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night too, Naruhodo-san. Susato is also baby. Dr. John H. Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. I wonder if the Baskerville case has to do with his death. Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. Oh no, he's hot. Angsty and hot. We love a 10-year-old with a medical degree. I know. I still... Oh my god. I still can't believe that. Kind of baffles me that Gina is older than Susato. Yeah, right? I think she's like a year older. I kind of consider them around the same age anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's just the way that they kind of hold themselves. I think Susato is like very mature and Gina is more like, I hate adults and kind of like rebellious and stuff, but yeah. Also, thanks so much for the follow, Eric. Thank you. 44% love with angsty Sholmes. Nice. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She's gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home, but I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Oh. If you'll indulge me,
Look out of the window, my dear fellow. Oh, what's this about? Wait a minute. Why is there a light on at this time of night? Oh, is she gonna go look for the manuscript? That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's... Oh no. Or she's gonna go look for the disc? I don't know.
It's simple. If that story was really an old Windibank storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it.
Right. Yeah, she's gonna go look for it. My dear boy, she's robbed us. She took everything, even the furniture. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it without telling you. I say. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh, no. No, not really. Well, anyway, we must investigate. At once. Miss Susato. 16th April, 1:14 a.m., Baker Street. The door to Windibank's. It's open. And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Oh, there's not a moment to lose. Clearly, something is afoot inside. There's no one here. Oh, yes. Oh, Jesus. Suddenly silence. Oh, yes, there is. Bang! Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! Oh, shit! What the? Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. But... after them! Go! Right! Not the Sholmes! Not the Sholmes! Blast! I've lost them.
Hello, hello, what have we here?
Oh?
The alarm was just raised from this pawnbroker, sir. Would you know something about that?
Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot.
Shot?
With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibank's. No.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, he's still alive, okay.
How bad
Oh,
is it?
God.
Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door. In the storeroom. Hurry!
Whoa. Mr. Windibank! Gina!
It's Gina!
Oh my god. What is happening? To be continued. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can you imagine if he died here? I don't know. What if he did? I have no idea. I would have legit cried and it is not okay. Oh man. Mr. Windibank. Okay. I think Gina's okay. I hope. Everybody's just falling down on the floor. They've all got scurvy. Yeah, a bullet with scurvy written on it. How about that? They just tripped, that's all. I'll be alright, Mr. Naruhodo. After them, go! Behind that door, in the storeroom. Hurry! He just fell on a jar of strawberry preserves. Oh, and she's holding the gun! I just realized! I bet you she didn't shoot him,
and one of those two people put the gun in her hand. Because there were two other people in here, I think. Unless it was those two? I don't know. It's Gina. Don't tell me anything. Oh boy. From that moment, Windibank's pawnbrokery became a crime scene. Everything that followed happened in a whirlwind of activity. The arrival of the police, the preliminary investigation of the scene, and the questioning. It was just before dawn before I was allowed back to my lodgings at 221B. April 16th, 6:21 a.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. It's her turn on the Xbox. Iris.
A telegram came, but all it said was, wait at home.
Oh, yes. We asked one of the policemen to have it sent. It was simply impossible to come back.
When I woke up, I was all alone. Hurley and Ginny were gone. Everyone was gone. What happened, Ruuuvo?
Poor Iris. She's trembling. She's obviously trying very hard not to let herself get too worried. I'll explain everything that I know.
Something awful has happened, hasn't it?
Yes, I'm afraid so. Let's tell her. Telegram? Weren't they, like, next door? Well, they didn't let them come back for, like, hours because they were questioning them and stuff, so I think that they just sent a telegram so that Iris would stay home and not come and see all of that, even though it was next door. It's a little silly, but yeah, they couldn't leave, I guess, at all. Alright, events at Windibank's. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, Iris, but Mr. Windibank is dead. He was shot. We discovered it in the early hours of the morning.
Oh, yes, I had a feeling.
You did?
Well, I saw all of those police carriages pulling up outside his shop, so I knew something must have happened there.
When we entered Windibank's in the small hours, we disturbed a gang of 2 thugs. They ran out onto the street and I chased after them, but they got away.
So, it was one of them who shot old Mr. Windibank, I suppose.
I don't know, but that's not what the police believe at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, why not?
They've arrested someone else as their prime suspect, you see. Gina.
Ginny? But why?
Well, the thing is...
No, Ginny wouldn't do something like that.
I know. None of us think she did it.
Then why have they arrested her?
I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. Jeez. Sholmes' situation.
So where's Hurley then? Is he still there investigating the scene? He really ought to have some breakfast. It's not good for him to miss meals.
I don't want you to worry, Iris, but I have some news about Mr. Sholmes. He was taken to the hospital this morning.
What?
Well, when we entered Windibank's, a gun was fired and he took a bullet.
Hurley? Was shot?
No. Oh, no. It's all right. His life isn't in danger.
Really? Are you sure? Where is he? Which hospital?
He's at St. Signers. They're tending to him there. Is it Signers or Sinners?
I must see him at once.
I'm sorry, Iris, but you can't.
Why not? That's not fair. I'm a family member. I should be allowed.
No, I mean, nobody can see him at the moment. He's not allowed any visitors. They're preparing to operate, you see.
To operate? Oh, poor Hurley.
And injured Sholmes. Okay, I always read it as Sinners, but I am chronically incorrect. So am I. That's why I'm asking. I assume it's pronounced Sinners, but I don't know. Signers or Sinners? It's actually pronounced Eggs Benedict. You know what? Actually, it's Egert Benedict.
Okay, I'll say sinners now.
Don't worry, Runo. They'll let me in. I'm a doctor. And I'm 10 years old.
Injured Sholmes. It was the two thugs who were in Mr. Windibank's shop. They shot Mr. Sholmes when we disturbed them, you see. It was pitch black inside the shop at the time. My mind went totally blank, I'm afraid. I just froze. After them. Go! After that, I ran out into the street, but, well, they were long gone. I shouldn't have hesitated. I'm so sorry. It's my fault. I let them get away.
I think that's a very good thing.
Sorry?
Well, if you'd seen which way they went and chased after them, you might have been shot as well, Runo.
That's true.
On top of everything else, I couldn't bear that.
Oh, Iris. Susato situation.
Where's Susie, Runo?
She's still at the police station.
Oh, why?
I expect she's still being questioned. Police said they wouldn't be finished for a while.
Why aren't you there then?
Well, I didn't get a good look at the criminals anyway, so they weren't questioning me for long. And Miss Susato stayed behind at the scene to tend to Mr. Sholmes, so they didn't get started until later.
Oh, I see.
Besides, one of us had to come back to be with Iris. I'm glad Inspector Gregson agreed to me leaving early.
You should have let me know, and I would have come to the station.
Gina's arrest. It is Victorian times. It is.
I don't understand why they arrested Ginny. It's not fair. What about the two thugs that were at the scene? Why aren't they the prime suspects? After all, they shot Hurley dead, didn't they?
No! I mean, Mr. Sholmes isn't dead, Iris!
This is all so horrible.
The thing is, Mr. Windibank was found on the floor in the storeroom where he keeps all the deposited articles. And the storeroom door was locked from the inside. Is it a locked room thing again?
I see.
But he wasn't alone in there. Gina was found next to him on the floor as well.
Oh no.
Well, the thing is, there's like a little window on the door. So if they're like, oh, they were locked inside, so she was the only one that could have shot him. They could have shot him through the door, and they could have even locked the door after they left with the frickin' window in the door. I don't know. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me. I'm gonna theorize and talk out loud a lot as I'm thinking through everything, but don't tell me a thing. You are 10. We are not making you walk to the police station alone. Exactly. Yeah, another locked room mystery. This is at least the second one in this game. According to the detectives who investigated afterwards...
Don't tell me. There was no one else in the room?
Yes, exactly. How did you know?
It's the only explanation.
Yes, the only explanation indeed.
What do you mean by that, Runo? Well...
Ugh, what can I say? I'm damned if I agree, damned if I don't. Well, I don't think Gina did it. I'm afraid I'll need to go out again now, Iris. There's not much I can do at the moment. But I can at least try to find out how Mr. Sholmes and Gina are getting on.
I want to go too. Take me with you, Runo. I can't stand just sitting around here waiting.
I'm not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. But I don't want to leave her all alone here either. Alright then, Iris. Perhaps you can help me?
Oh yes, I'd love to.
Gina's at the prison. Mr. Sholmes is probably in his hospital bed.
And don't forget, we have to visit the crime scene. We need to conduct a thorough investigation.
Ah, I can see you're ready for action. I imagine Iris would appreciate going to the hospital sooner rather than later. So, hospital first? Alright. So we gotta go to the pawnbrokery for the crime scene. We gotta go to the prison to visit Gina. And then... Sinner's Hospital for Sholmes. Okay. She's such a little sweetheart. Yeah, she's like the pearls of this game. She's very cute, very sweet. Well, sunglasses.
Her little goggle sunglasses. Alright, actually, I think I want to go to the pawnbrokery first. I'm not going to do what the game tells me. I'm going to do what I want to do. 16th April, Windibank's Pawnbrokery.
This is where it happened then. Last night.
That's right. The two thugs I told you about were obviously ransacking the place, looking for valuables.
But apart from the policemen in here, you wouldn't know anything had happened. There's no sign of a disturbance.
No, you're right about that, actually.
In fact, if anyone, it's the police who seem to be the ones doing the ransacking.
I know what you mean. They're like a gang of organized criminals all dressed in black. Oi! I heard that! Inspector, good morning. I suppose I ought to thank you for your vigilance last night. We got to the scene before it was disturbed, at least. Shame you let the two rogues get away, mind. Yes, I'm sorry about that.
I thought you'd assigned extra men at the beat around here, Gregsy. Now look what's happened. Hurley's been injured because there weren't enough police on duty.
Ah! Your ladyship! No one told me you were coming!
I expect you to take full responsibility for what happened to Hurley and see he has the very best medical care.
Of course, your ladyship. The very best doctors in the capital are tending to him as we speak.
And I don't think it's Runo's fault the rogues managed to get away, is it? Chasing criminals is the police's job.
Absolutely, your ladyship. As you say, ma'am, as you say. The gent in black is totally blameless. Everyone's in agreement about that. Would you believe it? He's like a completely different person with Iris. Talk about a personality change. Oh, where are me manners? Are you thirsty, your ladyship? Perhaps you'd like some juice? Some nice refreshing fruit juice?
Oh, why? Are you thirsty, Gregsy? I have some of my special herbal tea with me, if you'd like some.
In a little pink thermos? Oh. He just drinks it immediately. Glug, glug, glug. Ah, lovely. Ta, very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship. I don't even recognize him like this, me either. Pinky out! Pinky out! You know we hold the controller with Pinky out! Oh, sorry. Hey, Jake, welcome. Oh my god, when in doubt, Pinky out. He's spilling his potato chips. Pearl, if she knew how to spell. Pearl, if she had a doctorate. Alright, let's talk. The investigation. So, how is the investigation going, Inspector? Nothing to it, really. Very simple case, this. There's some very definitive evidence. We're just about to charge that diver we arrested last night, in fact. Gina, you're going to charge her? That's right. Should be able to bring her before the judge at the Bailey tomorrow.
Definitive evidence, you say? What is it? Come on, show me.
Your ladyship, as much as I wish I could oblige you, I'm afraid...
Ah, I see. You've already captured the pair of thugs who broke in here last night, have you?
What the?
And you're going to put them on the stand as witnesses, are you?
How could you? How? How could you possibly know that?
I had a feeling, that's all.
Remind me never to try to keep a secret from Iris. So you've arrested the two men who shot Mr. Sholmes, have you? Well, yes. They were rounded up pretty quickly by the lads on the beat. And Miss Lestrade is being held at the prison? She should be. That's assuming she hasn't lifted the key from the jailer, of course.
Mr. Sholmes.
Maybe you're just predictable. Gregson. He knows if he disobeys, she's going to shoot him with one of her cannons. That's why he's so nice to her. I like that detail too. The heart between her goggles. Yeah, so cute. And I love her hair. Her design is adorable. Can you tell us anything about Mr. Sholmes? What's his condition? Sorry, I'm not at liberty to divulge that information. Scotland Yard matters are strictly confidential.
Well, I know he's being operated on at St. Sinners. Why can't I see him? I'm family, you know.
I'm terribly sorry, your ladyship. It's the hospital's policy. No visiting at all.
Oh.
A bullet must have hit an artery in his midriff. He's lost a fair bit of blood.
Oh no.
He didn't seem too bad in the first hour or so. But a hemorrhage like that is enough to make even the one and only Sholmes pipe down. Mr. Sholmes is a human like the rest of us, you know. Well, anyway, he's having emergency surgery right now. They've got to stop that bleeding.
But he will be alright, won't he? They'll be able to make him better?
Of course, your ladyship. He'll be as right as rain before you know it.
Really? How do you know?
Eh? How do I know? Well, because, of course. Yes, because Mr. Sholmes is such a great detective, that's why. We better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again. Oh my goodness! Steven! Thank you so much for that raid. We're getting spoiled with raids today. Welcome in, y'all. Howdy. Hey, Cat. Hey, Raptor. Hey, Steven. How y'all doing? Can we get a shout out for Steven, please? What were you playing? Oh, some more Jackbox, of course. I hope y'all had a wonderful time playing some Jackbox with Steven. Welcome in, Yeet. Howdy, y'all. We are playing some great Ace Attorney Chronicles today. This is pretty much all I'm streaming for a little while until, I think until the Pokemon DLC comes out, and then I'll play that too, but yeah, we're all Ace Attorney right now, having a good time, making some progress the game. Oh, having internet lag. No worries, no worries. Just let me know if you got a skedaddle or anything, but I appreciate the raid very much, and it's good to see you guys. Good to see y'all. Yeah, welcome in. Howdy. Currently, Sherlock Holmes is in the hospital. He's just been shot. And we're investigating the crime scene right now with, our little mini detective here. And, this is the... Well, she's not a detective. It's a long story. This is basically John Watson's daughter, and she lives with Sherlock Holmes. And that's a detective over there. We're investigating the crime scene. That's better. There you go. There you go. Hey, Dandere, welcome. Howdy. The child genius, yes. She's very smart. She's a little kid, but she's very smart. She has a doctorate? She's a doctor? At 10? I don't know. I don't know. Thanks so much for the follow. Oh, God. Alright, let's see. We better pray the doctors have a better grasp of what's needed to make someone well again.
Oh dear. Please don't die, Hurley.
Hurley is her nickname for Sherlock Sholmes, to avoid copyright, so... I'll report to your ladyship the moment I hear he's out of the operating theater. Alright, and then her ladyship. He keeps calling her that. I couldn't help noticing, Inspector. What? Out with it, sunshine! Well, there seems to be a marked difference between the way you talk to me and Iris. Watch the sauce, Sonny! I'm a copper, and we don't go in for favoritism.
But he's right. You do treat us differently.
It's 'cause of those Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes stories. That's why. Oh. I crop up in 'em, don't I? Inspector Tobias Gregson.
Oh, well yes, because you're an acquaintance of Hurley's.
What did you write about the inspector, Iris?
I don't remember, really.
It was one of Sholmes's lines. Gregson is the smartest of the Scotland Yarders, is how he put it.
Oh, did I write that?
And you know what that one line did for me, eh?
The very next month, my pay doubled. Doubled, I tell you. Oh, that's why he cares. Oh my god, that's amazing. All because everyone at the yard reads them. They read all the Sholmes stories. They've even set up a fan club for me.
Of course, that explains everything. It was around that time that you became such a toady to me.
Can you blame me? All it would take is one bad word from you and Sholmes could change his tune about me. Gregson? No. The great detective will say, he's getting quite overrated these days. Think what would happen to my salary if that came out in print, eh? The whole thing gives me the willies. I can't tell you how many nights of sleep I've lost to worrying about it.
But that would never happen, Gregsy.
Every month when the new Ronst magazine comes out, my hands are trembling as I turn the pages.
Oh, how awful for you. Here, have some of my tea to settle your nerves.
Thank you so much for the follow, Dandere. Thank you.
He's chugging it. Ah, lovely. Ta, very much. That really hit the spot, your ladyship.
So that's why he's so sweet to her. I was wondering, I was like, does he know her dad and he like wants to be nice to her because of that? No, it's because he wants to keep his paycheck. To be fair to the game, they didn't make up Sholmes. It's originally from the Arsène Lupin stories. Oh, I didn't know that. I really thought they just made that up as a way to avoid the copyright. Interesting. So maybe that's just what most things do to avoid the copyright. After Arsène did it. At least he's honest. Yeah, that's true. Double. 2 whole half pennies. Now he has 1 penny. Instead of 2 half. Instead of 1 half. T total.
Oh, yeah. There's something I was supposed to talk to you about, actually, Mr. Naruto.
Yes? What is it?
I've got an important message for you. I clean forgot about it till now.
An important message? I wonder what it could be. Hey? Important message. Are you going to tell me what this important message is then, Inspector?
Yeah, it's about that young lady who's normally by your side, your assistant.
Dear Susie, is she alright?
She's at the station, isn't she? Being questioned, I believe.
Nope, not anymore. She had to head off.
Head off? Where? Oh, she was summoned, right?
To Lord Strongheart's office, of course. He summoned her.
Ah, yes, of course. I'd forgotten about that.
One of the whipstocks took her there in a yard carriage after we'd finished questioning her, but she asked us to tell you she didn't have the fare for the return journey and to go and meet her there. She's got a nerve using Scotland Yard as a bloomin' messaging service.
I see. Well, thank you for passing that on, Inspector.
Why did Susie have to go see the Lord Chief Justice?
She didn't tell me. But I'd better head over to the Lord Chief Justice's office to fetch her straight away. Okay, so that's gonna be our next thing. Well, I want to look around, too. So we're gonna do that. Like, I see this down here. That might be important, but I don't know. Hey, Eric. Sherlock Holmes is in the public domain, not under copyright. It was when this was made. The estate that was in charge of it was very, very strict about who got to use Sherlock Holmes's image and anything about him really related to it. And I think only recently did it expire, and finally now you most likely won't get sued for using it. Yeah, that was after the game came out. So at the time, they had to do something other than Sherlock Holmes to avoid that. But yeah, it's a recent development. Now people don't have to worry about it, I'm pretty sure. Thankfully. Because I'm against that kind of thing where, like, you can't even... Because Sherlock Holmes is so famous that it's just kind of like a pop culture thing at this point, but they were so strict about it. I think it just kind of, like, stifles creativity and people getting to, you know, like, make silly games like this, you know? But anyway. Let me see if there's any clues. Let's see what we can uncover. Oh, okay, they're not gonna let us. They're not gonna let us. Oi, what do you think you're doing, Sunshine? You can't touch anything in here. Oh, but we were hoping to investigate. This is a crime scene, for Pete's sake. No touching. Okay.
What's the problem, Gregsy? Bruno's a lawyer. You know that.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry, your ladyship, ever so sorry. The rules and regulations are a thorn in my side. Of course, if Mr. Naruhodo was to have been properly appointed by the accused, that'd be another matter. The accused? If you could show me some representation papers, I'd be only too happy to let you nose around. Oh, okay, so we're probably gonna end up, representing her.
Did you hear that, Runo? You need Ginny to sign some representation papers.
It looks like presenting the detective here with the correct paperwork is the only way. Okay. I guess let's skedaddle then. We're going to... I think he's probably still gonna be in surgery, so we should go to the prison first. Can we even go find Susato? I don't think so. Oh no, yes, it's right here. So we can go to the Lord Chief Justice's office as well. I guess we'll go to the prison first, and then we'll go to Susato. Right? And then Sherlock? Ah yes, my favorite moody wall-climbing detective, Sherlock Sholmes. Sherlock Holmes has been in public domain for a while. It's the final Holmes stories that recently entered public domain. The estate would send out cease and desist orders, but one person took it to court and won against the estate. Okay. You're telling me Sherlock isn't performing his own surgery? That does sound like something Sherlock Holmes would do. Perform surgery on himself. Oh my god, alright, cell 13. Poor Gina. Hello, Gina. Oh my god! And it takes her so long to load the gun.
Oh, you still have the grenade launcher Hurley and I made.
I wish you wouldn't point it at me all the time, though.
What are you here for?
Ginny, I have a feeling it's because of us that you've ended up in trouble. So we were thinking that we might be able to help you.
Well, you can't.
Sorry?
You heard. Get lost. Don't be like that, Ginny. I know you didn't do it. You would never shoot someone. I just know you wouldn't. You think you know me? Pull the other one. Oh. You ain't got the first idea about the likes of me. I'm a thief. I pinch people's purses when they're walking down the street. That's how I get by. And if I saw me chance, I'd sneak into a pawn shop any day of the week. Just to see what I could lay me hands on. Get it? That's the kind of person I am. But Ginny... I'll be in court tomorrow, they said. Some cove came by before and said he'd be a lawyer for me or the like. Said it was my right or something. But I told him to get stuffed. I don't need no lawyer. I don't need no one.
She couldn't be staring at me any more obviously if she tried.
Why are you being like this, Ginny?
Oh, Ginny. Why are you being so tsundere about this? She's gonna defend herself. I don't think that'll go too good. Why did they let her keep that? Who allowed this prisoner to have a grenade launcher? Why does she still have it in jail? I guess she snuck it in. She is a pickpocket. Legal representation. I don't understand, Gina. Why did you send the public defender anyway? Oh, why did you send the public defender away?
He wanted me to sign some papers. Representation papers or something like that. It's all gonna be rigged anyway, the whole trial. They'll pin it on me because I'm a kid. That's what grown-ups always do.
Why do you think that?
Because that's how it's always been for me growing up in the back slums. Me whole life. If you do what the grown-ups tell ya, it'll get your mates dragged off by the coppers, or worse. I've had it happen to me before and all. Been sold out and nearly snaffled on the back of it. can't trust no one. That's the point. Soon as you do, you're gone to grass, dead.
Gina, listen. If you like, in tomorrow's trial, I could...
Forget it! Ginny! Don't you trust Ruuuvo? Nah, I don't. Look, I'll ask you nicely now. Just leave me alone.
Jeez. What happened? Will you tell us what happened, Gina? Last night, at the pawnbrokers.
There's nothing to tell. I figured it'd pay me, so I broke into the place and started going through the storeroom. But the old bloke walked in on me, and you know the rest.
Why is she lying?
Well, why, Ginny? Why would you do that? Ain't it obvious? The place is full of stuff I could sell for a shilling or two. Diving ain't easy, you know. It's a lot of work, and half the time you don't even get nothing.
Is that really why you broke into the place? I don't think it is. What? Are you sure the true reason wasn't something else?
Oh, give it a rest. What'd be the point anyway, eh? Nothing I could say would make a blind bit of difference. Please tell us, Ginny. We'll believe you, whatever it is. Believe me? Don't be daft. You can't believe nothing. Everyone lies all the time. And you know what? When it comes to liars, I'm the biggest of the lot. I've told some unforgivable lies, I have. What do you mean by that? What unforgivable lies?
Unforgivable lies. What did you mean before, Gina, when you said you were the biggest liar of the lot? Why don't you tell us what these unforgivable lies you've told are? Maybe we can help.
Sorry. We're out of time. They're gonna want to question me now. Ginny, please. Oh yeah. I wanted to give you this. Something to remember me by.
Oh yeah, it's the little cat picture on the desk. From the pawn shop.
Oh!
A photographic print of a really adorable cat.
With a snowman. I found it in one of the pockets of his coat. Ain't no point in me having it. I wonder what a little photograph like that was doing in a pocket of that overcoat. Anyway, don't bother coming again. Bye. Oh, Ginny.
The white cat has been entered into the court record. Photograph depicting a sweet little white cat obtained from Gina while interviewing her in her prison cell. It's probably going to be astronomically important later. I'm assuming. Alright, I guess let's go see Susato? Or at least try. They might send us away, though. Alright. British Supreme Court. Lord Chief Justice's office. Before we check this out, I am going to take a quick little break. We're over halfway through with the stream, and I am running out of water. So I'm gonna get some more water. I'll be back in like less than 5 minutes, though. And when I get back, we will continue and see Susato, and then probably Herlock after that. Hey, Flame, welcome in. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. We love it when foreshadowing is as subtle as a brick through a window. Yeah, exactly. All right, BRB, y'all. All right, I'm back. Howdy, y'all. Also, welcome in, Anna. Sorry, I left like right as you popped in. But I have my water. I'm back. I'm good to go. I say I missed many Herlock antics. Yes, like him being shot. Uh-huh. Is the fan art corner new? I like it. It's semi-new, but it's been there for a while, honestly. Yeah, it's been there for a minute, but yeah, I think even some of your stuff is in there. Whatever was on the wall is also in the BRB, so yeah. Any fan art that y'all make will go at least in the digital version too. I just felt bad because like I have all y'all's fan art up here. Let me switch over. I have all of the fan art over here, but like it's so blurry you can't really see it. And so I figured since the BRB screen is pretty boring anyway, y'all would get to see all the fan art that y'all have made. When I'm, you know, taking a little break, getting some water and stuff. I mean, got a while, huh? I mean, it's probably just the times that you've been here. I haven't gone on a BRB, so you haven't seen it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been there for a minute. But no worries. Alright. Let's get back to it then. Let's do it. Let's see. 16th April, British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice's office. So we're trying to find Susato. Yes. No matter how many times I come here, I always get the same sense of oppressiveness somehow.
Do you think the place is oppressive? I think it's normal.
How so?
I mean, look at that suit of armor over there. You can't take that seriously, can you?
Maybe it thinks the same about you. So everything is clear with regard to tomorrow's arrangements, I trust.
Yes, thank you very much.
There she is. There they are. Susato-san and Lord Strongheart.
I wonder what they're talking about. They both look very serious.
Very good. There is nothing further to discuss. You may return to your lodgings. No doubt you have much to do in preparation for your return to your homeland. Huh? What? Excuse me? Wait, what did he just say? Your return to your homeland? Susato-san. The birds!
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo.
What was all that about? Ah, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you for coming to collect your colleague. What's this all about? Why were you talking about Miss Susato's return to her homeland? And tomorrow? She leaving?
Tomorrow? But what about Ginny's trial?
You mean she's been formally charged now? Oh dear. What the heck? Who needs fair warning anyway? Gosh. Every time I come here, the British Empire, I get a sense of oppression. Look at this burly giant man guy. Oh yeah, Strongheart. I think a lot of people feel strongly for him. He is the Lord Chief Justice, who has absolute authority. A thoroughly intimidating man. Oh yeah, let's converse. Miss Susato, what's all this about?
Oh, please don't concern yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. It's only me going back to Japan.
Well, still!
Your life here can continue.
That's not what I asked. What happened? Why are you leaving?
It's my father. He's fallen ill.
Oh.
Oh no.
Professor Mikotoba? Oh yeah. If I may? Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. We received an international telegram from the Empire of Japan informing us of the news.
10 days ago, Father collapsed with a fever. The cause is apparently unknown, and it seems he grows weaker day by day.
I don't believe it. As you are aware, the voyage from here to your country's capital, Tokyo, takes some 50 days. I thought it would be prudent to hasten Miss Susato's departure as much as possible. Yes, absolutely.
Man.
We'll leave London first thing tomorrow morning. I can't believe this is happening. Gina's trial. I want this man's office, though. Look at all those books! A clock tower would be so cool to work in. Wow, a maelstrom, you could say. As long as you had earplugs for when the bell rings. This man's 52. He's practically disintegrating as they speak. Oh my god! It's anime, therefore the bell won't be disruptive. Oh, but she just got here. I know! I don't want Susato to leave. God. So Gina has been charged? She'll have to appear in court? Yes, she was formally charged a few hours ago, and the date of the trial has already been set for tomorrow.
No, not even 24 hours later?
Gina. Ah, the Lestrade girl, and the murder of the Baker Street pawnbroker, yes. An all too conspicuous case. The pickpocket was clearly disturbed mid-robbery and shot the man in a panic. No, the yard is overstretched as it is, without wasting time on these open and shut cases.
It's not wasting time. Ginny would never do something like that.
Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes, Lord Strongheart? In deference of your fine services to date, I shall overlook this young girl's insolence. But I have no recollection of admitting a child into my office. Leave. Now.
Of course, Lord Strongheart.
Criminals will tell the most palpable lies in order to evade justice. The police can ill afford the time it takes to unravel all their untruths. Meanwhile, more crimes are perpetrated. We have far more serious matters with which to contend. Serious matters? Didn't Gregson mention something like that yesterday?
Yes, Inspector Gregson made a similar remark yesterday.
It's no concern of yours, though I'm sure I need not remind you of that. Clock Daddy. So we have Vampire Daddy and Clock Daddy. Okay. Sir, she is a doctor. Yeah, respect this 10-year-old. She's a doctor, god damn it. Lestrade is a character in the Conan Doyle novels, but he's a middle-aged inspector. Oh, okay. You know, Lestrade, the name did sound familiar, but I just kind of went along with it. Okay, so she's also a reference. 3 minutes precisely until my next meeting. You must excuse me. There's just one more thing, Lord Strongheart. Which is? It's Miss Lestrade's trial. I wonder if you might permit me to defend her. A timely suggestion. Sorry? The girl currently has no representation.
But that's not fair. Yes, she may be a pickpocket, but she still deserves a fair trial.
I mean, isn't she the one that sent them away? Do not misunderstand me, young lady. The government provides for those too poor to afford representation with a public defender. The accused need only sign the relevant paperwork and a defense barrister will be assigned to the case. However, the young girl in question has refused that right. How would she do that? A question you would do well to direct at Miss Lestrade. You'll find her at the local prison. Yes, thank you. So, it's almost like I should have been here first and then went to go see her. Okay. Now then, it's time I was leaving. Good day to you. Good day. Good day to you too, Steven. Or good night. I don't want to see too much of this game. Don't get beat up by big burly man guy. I'll try not to. But yeah, have a good night, Steven. Thanks so much for that raid. We'll see you later. We'll see you around. I'm so bad at Ace Attorney names that I can barely tell what's a pun and what's a reference sometimes. Yep. I mean, definitely for me, I'm not gonna get the references to Sherlock Holmes stuff because I know Sherlock Holmes, but I never, you know, heavily read the books or watched all the movies and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna get all the references. And even with the puns, sometimes it just, whoop, goes over my head, but it's fine. What a day. Gina charged with murder, Susato-san about to leave.
Come, Mr. Naruhodo. Iris, we must make haste. But, Susie, you're leaving for Japan tomorrow morning, aren't you? Don't you have packing and things to do? As Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant, my personal circumstances are of no consequence. My sole purpose remains to help you in whatever way I can. Thank you, Miss Susato. It's a very pensive look.
And if I'm honest, this has completely thrown me off. I'll just have to do what I can as a lawyer. Alright, let's get a move on. I wonder if we should go back to the prison first? And then Sherlock? Oh, she's not even here? Ah, no, she's here. There she is. Hello again, Gina. Oh my fucking god! Every time? Every time. What are you lot here for now? Have the muzzle of that grenade launcher shoved in our faces yet again, obviously.
I think I need to improve the way you load ammunition to that thing, don't I? Look, you can come as many times as you like, but I ain't got nothing more to say to you.
Okay. I guess not. I'm probably gonna have to show her something. Okay, let's skedaddle. I just don't know if he'll be ready to see us yet. 16th April, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3.
Hurley! Oh.
Yeah, he's not back yet.
So anyway, I started blasting, I did, yeah.
That's her.
Mr. Sholmes is nowhere to be seen.
No, that's strange. The nurse definitely said he was in the bed by the window, didn't she? What nurse? Oh, I guess they just talked to a nurse on the way in here.
Ooh, I know what's probably happened. Hurley was being a big baby, and the bullet wound wasn't that bad after all, so he's been sent home.
I'm not so sure about that. Baby or not, there's no question that it was a fairly serious injury that Mr. Sholmes suffered.
Oh dear. I do hope Mr. Sholmes will be all right.
Hello, hello, what have we here? This ward is off limits. No visiting. So what are you doing in here, eh?
Well, I'll have you know, we're Hurley's next of kin.
Eh? Oh, well, begging your pardon then, ma'am. A little lady and a curious Eastern pair. The great mystery solver has a mysterious family, eh?
That's how you see us, sure.
Where is he, Constable? Where's Hurley?
I believe he's currently in the operating theatre, ma'am, undergoing an extensive operation.
Extensive?
It has been several hours since he went in.
Oh my. Has there been some kind of problem?
Well, it doesn't appear to be working, you see. The anesthetic, that is. Uh-oh.
No?
I have heard a report that the gentleman claims he have had a little too much to drink last night. Coffee, that is.
Oh.
Anyway, I think it would be fair to assume that he won't be back here for several hours yet.
I see. Thank you, Constable.
Oh, poor Hurley.
Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? What is it, Miss Susato? I hope you won't think me selfish, but do you think we could perhaps go to visit Gina? I've just realized that I won't have another opportunity to say farewell. We were just there! Yes, of course. Susato-san may not see Gina again before she has to leave. I wish I knew what Susato-san was thinking. Anyway, let's go back to the prison then. Okay! Well, let's look around first. This is a new area. This must be Mr. Sholmes' bed.
Poor Hurley.
I know. It looks as stiff as a board, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't think that will bother him.
No?
I often find him asleep face down on the floor, completely dead to the world.
I think I'd call the police if I discovered someone like that. There's a notice board on the wall here, look. Let's see. What does it say? Thought of the day. On seeing any vermin, calmly and discreetly inform matron.
Oh yes, they have rats and mice in hospitals like this that love to feast on all the medicine. If you don't deal with them, there's nothing left to treat the patients.
Rats and mice? See. This is a rather old building, I suppose.
But the doctors and nurses are all very good, I hear.
I certainly hope so for Mr. Sholmes' sake. Okay, that's not at all alarming. Anything else? Maybe over here. I wonder what these are. Do you have any idea, Iris?
Oh, haven't you ever seen crutches before? Let me explain. They're for people with leg injuries, to help them walk. You hold one under each arm, you see.
Right. I thought they were weapons of some sort.
Why would there be weapons in a hospital?
I thought maybe a fighter had been injured in a battle contest and been brought here along with his weapons.
That's surprisingly plausible.
Alright. I think that's it. Let's get out of here. I guess we're going back to the prison again. Here we are. I'm surprised the rats and mice aren't dead, to be honest. Oh, from the medicine?
Medicine feast, yum yum! Medicine feast, yum yum!
We'll leave the rats to their feast.
Gina, I wonder if you might hear me out. There's something I'd like to say.
What?
I'm sorry to say that I must reluctantly bid you farewell. Eh? Farewell? Tomorrow I must begin my journey back home, to Japan. I fear we may never meet again. Oh, right. I've had the pleasure of meeting so many lovely people here in London. I have so many wonderful memories. And yet, as things stand now, it will be a glum parting indeed. Poor Iris is so miserable. Susie.
Well, that ain't my business.
Both Iris and Mr. Naruhodo believe you to be innocent, Gina. They've put their faith in you. But somehow, you can't find it in your heart to put your faith in them.
Yeah, that's right. I can't. What of it?
It grieves me greatly to have to say goodbye to my friends when they are so clearly unhappy. Because of you.
Oh. What? It's my fault?
Yes. So I have one final request, Gina, before our paths never cross again. Right here and now. I want you to show both of them that you don't deserve the faith they've invested in you.
Eh?
Only by doing that will you truly be as alone as you claim to be.
What are you talking about? What do you expect me to do, eh?
You've told us that everyone lies. So prove it, by admitting one of your own untruths. What about what you said before, Ginny? You said something about unforgivable lies. You must tell Mr. Naruhodo and Iris the truth now. That is my last request before I leave. My last request as a judicial assistant. No, I can't.
Whatever these lies are, they're obviously weighing very heavily on Gina's mind. Gina, I could be wrong, but is it something to do with what happened 2 months ago? Something about that trial? Ooh. The one in which Magnus McGilded was acquitted. Ah, the case of that mysterious murder that took place inside the omnibus. You were called as a witness by the prosecution. Is that what this is about?
Yeah, you're right. Because in that trial, I lied. I lied like you wouldn't believe.
Will you tell us about it now?
Ooh. Secrets! We're learning secrets! Alright. But where is the big rat who makes all of the rules?
Oh, Germa. I haven't watched Germa stuff in a minute. I still like watching him, but I haven't sat down and watched. I really haven't been watching a lot of YouTube or like Twitch in general. I've been so busy playing Pikmin and Palia. I gotta catch up on Germa stuff. The trial 2 months ago.
Like you said, it all happened 2 months ago. The coppers got hold of me and shoved me in the witness stand.
And based on your testimony, Mr. McGilded was declared innocent.
Yeah, well, thing is, I lied about a whole bunch of stuff.
I knew it. I knew it!
What sort of thing did you lie about?
Everything?
I was hiding under the seat that night. That was the truth.
Oh boy.
It was pitch black in that little cubby hole. I couldn't see a thing. And then I heard that loud thud, like someone falling on the floor.
And that's when Mr. McGilded discovered you.
Yeah. He pulled me out from under the seat and sat me next to the dead man. There weren't much light to see by, but when I looked at me hands, I had the cove's blood all over 'em. I was so scared, I couldn't even speak.
You had his blood on your hands? In other words, it was Gina that the witnesses on the roof deck saw through the skylight.
Then Mr. McGilded started asking you questions, I suppose. Who you were and why you were hiding under the seat. Yeah, he did. Only, that's not all.
What do you mean?
I mean, he threatened me.
Threatened you how?
He made me swear about what I'd seen and what I'd heard, and about what he was going to do after the cove was found dead. He made me swear I wouldn't tell no one about any of it. If I did that, he said he'd let me scarper before the copper showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as the case was going, I had a feeling that we were representing someone that actually was not innocent. For the first time, or quote unquote. First time, one of those rare times it happens, but man. McGilded is kind of stinky, huh? Yeah. I could have guessed that. I mean, he seemed like a greedy person, you know? What's Palia? Palia is an MMO that's in an open beta right now. So it's not technically finished, but people can play it and it's for free. And it's just like the latest big game that a lot of people are getting into. And I actually got sucked into it too, and it's a lot of fun. Because like I've tried other MMOs before, but I could never really stick with them. Like I've tried FF14 and I think a couple other ones. But for some reason Palia really is clicking with me. It's not so much like a PvP game or battle at all. It's kind of more like Stardew, but MMO. And so you can have crops and you can like hunt animals and stuff and, you know, just collect things, make furniture, build a house, stuff like that. So it's a little bit more wholesome, I guess, and more simple in a good way. I don't know. I really like it. And a lot of my friends are playing it and I'm playing it now too, so one of those games I'm into off stream. He was rich, that was kind of a given. Well, yeah. Man, and then most likely he was a murderer too. We'll see. Gina, you must tell me what he swore you to secrecy about. What you saw and what you heard, everything. Okay, oh. Okay, wow. What you saw. Streamers playing games off stream? Jail. Unheard of. Illegal. You said McGilded made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you?
Yes, with Mr. McGilded sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove hitting the floor, I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGilded heard that and dragged me out by me arm, and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer what had been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny.
Oh. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna take some notes here. So Gina lied during trial. McGilded swore her to secrecy. And then we have There was a disc on the floor, she said, next to the victim. Okay.
A disc? Do you mean... Yeah, that's it. The one what the D took off me at Winterbanks.
So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus?
Not for long. McGill had spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside his pocket.
So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder.
And the bog trotter told me I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one.
What you heard.
Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab, I was straining me ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably, that was McGilded getting on board. Nah, not only him.
Oh.
So I could definitely make out the footsteps of 2 people.
In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGilded and the victim, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during the trial, Mr. McGilded claimed he slept during the carriage ride. Whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. I'm just refusing to do the Irish accent now. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear them talking the whole time in low voices.
What? What were they talking about?
Sorry, I dunno. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud.
But that still tells us something. Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other. Well, the victim was someone that loaned from him, I think. So we already knew that they knew each other. Okay, so Gina... McGilded said he was asleep the whole time. Not true. As Gina heard him talking to the victim. So they knew each other. Just channel your inner Lucky the Leprechaun. They're magically delicious. Oh, speaking of snoring, I gotta go lay down. Good night, everybody. Good night, friend. Thanks so much for being here and hanging out with us. I'll be playing more of this forever. For a while. I'll be just playing this all the time, so we'll see you next time. We'll see you around. Have a good one. We'll see you later. 49% love with marshmallows for breakfast. I also don't eat them for breakfast. Forever! Yay, forever! Mr. McGilded and the victim knew each other. So McGilded was lying, as I suspected. And then we have after the event. Gotta go see y'all tomorrow. No worries, Arkham. Have a good night. Have a good one, y'all. Pleasant dreams. We'll see you later. The Ace Attorney content never ends. For now. For now. After the event.
I knew it weren't gonna take long before someone raised the alarm that the bloke had been killed.
Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly.
So when the cab came to a stop, McGilded told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The 2 coves from up top ran off to get the coppers.
Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First.
Right, and after they'd gone, McGilded asked the driver to do him a favor.
Favor? Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. Oh, and for your troubles, let's see. I'll give you 10 guineas. Interesting. Okay. So the person who deposited the coat at the pawn shop was the cab driver. The gilded paid him off. After the 2 witnesses left. Okay. Got it. I, for one, can't wait for you to stream 4 through 6 and somehow manifest a Capcom announcement for a new mainline game. Ooh. That would be so fun. I would love that. More Ace Attorney! More! I can't decide whether or not I actually want an Ace Attorney 7. I would love more, but I'd be constantly worried that they'll muck it up. And then Flame says no, give me... There's 2 types of Ace Attorney fans. I'm just like, I haven't even gotten to the most recent game in the series. You know what I mean? So from this early point on, I'm just like, oh, more Ace Attorney, that sounds like fun. But I haven't gotten to 7, or I haven't gotten to 6 and seen if it's like a nice wrap-up of the story or anything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. My opinion I would take with a grain of salt just because I'm so early on in the series, but I also have intense platinum bias, and that series burned me on Sinnoh Remake, so I may be transferring paranoia. I get that. But especially like that's like a remake. So I think it would be kind of different than if they just had like a new installment. But yeah, I mean, there's always the possibility that it might not be the best. But we'll see. I'll be curious to see your take. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it when I get there, you know? And we're not gonna get there until like far into next year probably as I get through the second trilogy, you know, but we'll see. At the moment, I'm having a great time with Ace Attorney, and the prospect of more Ace Attorney sounds fun. Yeah, 4 is still in... I know, right? Like, I still gotta get through Chronicles, and I gotta get to 4, 5, and 6 at the next trilogy. My goodness. I still haven't played 5. Well, you have time. And you could also play the re-release in spring of next year. Okay, so he gave him 10 guineas. Would kill for more Chronicles. Ooh, more Chronicles. Yeah, I wonder if they could do that too. I'll have to see how the second game ends, you know? A nearby pawnbroker. You mean on Baker Street? Mm-hmm. Yep, you got it. It was Windibank's. The coachee snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGilded opened the box under the seat and let me get out of there, but not without conditions. I see. We got McGilded's conditions. What were McGilded's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul. Not for anything. About what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well. There's more? Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Weasel? Aye. The fiend's taken me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right, and I'll come fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. You're to hang on to it till then. Is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. All right, then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, Windibank so it is, and you're to extend the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited, and any old fiend could come along and buy it. Eh? But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5. That should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now. If you go against me... I get it. Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I've no doubt. Coppers? Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court, to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What is it that you might say, and what is it that you want? I knew he was bad. So McGilded told Gina to extend the time at the pawn shop. The coat. Okay. The hat is holding all of his lies, yes. I think I have more issues with 5 than 6, but I won't get into it because I can't be bothered. No worries. I mean, I haven't played them yet, so I'm hoping I can buy the games once they're out, mostly because 4 won me over entirely. Nice. People have come up with concepts for great Ace Attorney investigations, and I would definitely not be opposed. Ooh, that sounds fun too. Slimy little man he is. Yes, McGilded. All right.
After he'd gone over it all, I piked it. Got as far away from there as I could. He hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So McGilded planned it and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. I bet you're ready to string me up, eh? I lied. In that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. Thing is, he said he would make it so he couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything what went on in the back slums. He knew we had no one to look after us and we was all just looking out for each other, getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilded would have... In a heartbeat, he would have had the lot of us chased out of there if he wanted. And then where would we have gone, eh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice.
Jesus. Okay, so, the Gilded threatened Gina. He would chase out the orphans. Okay. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything.
What? I'm for it now, eh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid.
Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor.
A favor? What?
Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial.
Eh?
If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. We need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us.
Investigate what?
The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see.
Do what? Curly's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right?
She does care! That's why I want to investigate. For Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything.
Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it?
Something like that. Miss Susato?
Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing.
Oh, sure. You know we're gonna represent her.
Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely.
Alright, representation papers have been entered into the court record. The paperwork signed by Gina to put me in charge of her defense. Showing this to Scotland Yard detectives gains us access to the crime scene. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Windibanks now.
Yes. And perhaps we can come back to visit Ginny when we're done there.
Alright. I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Windibanks. Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. To be continued. Next time. We'll be stopping here. I think that's a great stopping point. And I am starting to get a little bit tired, so I think we'll just stop a little early today. And we'll pick back up with this tomorrow. I don't feel super rushed because, like, I'm playing this all the time now, so... I think we'll just continue this tomorrow. Let me just make some notes so I know what to do. We're going to go investigate the crime scene and show representation papers. And then visit Gina again. And then her log. 24-hour stream, shake my head. Wow. Wow. All right, let's switch over here. Let me save while we're at it. Before I forget, I'm gonna have to do it all over again. All right. Yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Last case is the longest as usual. Oh, this is the last case, isn't it? I couldn't remember how many cases there were. It's usually around 4 or 5, isn't it? Oh, wow. So we're gonna be finishing this soon. I wonder if we'll get to the second game, like, in the next couple months. I guess so, huh? We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, we'll be playing more of this tomorrow. I stream every Tuesday to Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. I'm losing the ability to speak, so I gotta stop streaming. That's the reason. But yeah, be back tomorrow at 8:30, and we'll be playing more Ace Attorney. But let me find somebody to raid real quick. But there's my social media, most active on Twitter and YouTube, and there's the Discord if you want to join, and there are the raid messages if you're coming with us. Speech is overrated. Good time zone, y'all. Won't be here tomorrow, so have a nice weekend. Yeah, have a nice weekend, anybody that won't be able to make it to tomorrow's stream. Either way, I hope y'all have a wonderful night, and we'll be here tomorrow at 8:30 for anyone that can stop by. But either way, have a great night, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks so much for being here, y'all. I appreciate it.